Welcome to another actual play with Just One More Fix. This is James. With me in this episode is Lacey, Carrie, Holly, and Taffy.
Hello.
Hey.
You can find us online at justonmorefix.com or on Twitter at justonmorefix. If you like us, you can support us at Patreon, and you can give us a rating and review at iTunes or wherever you find us at. In this episode, we're going to keep playing Night Witches. And now, it's time to get our gaming fix. You're about to listen to another episode of our Night Witches actual play. These episodes include mature themes and some tragedies of war. So you've been warned. We rejoin our Russian Airwomen as they are leaving the local tavern at Pashevskaya to go investigate an area in the forest just outside of the airbase as they try to put the pieces together that they have to find out if there's a spy among them. This episode comes from Session 7 where we had to recover the audio. So you may notice a few glitches and change in the audio quality, but there are some really important plot moments that happen in this session, so we wanted to make sure to get these out to all of you. And without any further ado, here is Night Witches.
I will say that you guys do a pretty good job of sort of transitioning from you guys to the locals here, singing and playing the piano and having a good time. You leave enough money for a couple rounds to go around everybody. I think you guys walk out of here like feeling like this small moment when the war totally goes away, and it's just like you're, five ladies at a place that was our old friends having a good time, and then you guys walk out and have that moment as you walk out the front door of this place as planes are
gets
landing.
A little chillier. And
Yep.
The realization of
So, like, as we step out and the cold air hits us and we're, like, aware of what's going on, is there anybody outside of the bar that's taking note of this but not joining in the revelry?
Go ahead and make me an eyeball. That seems like an eyeball. It seems like it might be up in question.
That is an 8.
So you get to ask one.
I mean, that's kind of my question, so I don't know if that's like a what am I overlooking or whatever, but, like, is there anybody out here who's not taking part of this Soviet war moment? Is there an outsider?
I almost feel like that might be a little too obvious. Do you like?
If there's not, that's fine. Yeah. I just want to make sure, like, I notice it.
No, so you walk out here and there's some people here that are kind of like watching inside or whatever, but maybe they're like the real introverted people that they don't seem like spy-ish or anything like that.
Okay.
I just don't think that it makes, like, if you were to be be a spy, I don't think it makes sense that you would be here right now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so that's fine. I'm happy with a no. I didn't really want to find anybody, so
it's all good.
Okay.
It's all good.
Yay! That's good. It's like
At this point, I'm going to point out.
I don't think it makes sense, so.
Why are we actually going to work? I thought that was a cover.
Okay, so you guys slip out. You take a look around outside. There's nothing that seems sort of nefarious or bad or suspicious or whatever. And then, do you guys head back to the base, or what do you guys do?
Well, the plan was to go back, I think, and maybe even be like a little obvious about our passing through. Maybe play it off that we're a little bit more merry than we are, just in case there's anybody already there.
Okay.
That's waiting for us to come back, and then we're gonna change clothes and get our guns and sneak back up that way.
Yeah.
All right. So I think
Do we want to see if any of the male soldiers
I really
want
don't
to go, or just us, or
I think we're
fine with just our weapon. I mean, yeah,
We want to see if anybody else from our unit wants to go.
I would be okay with that.
yeah, for sure.
yes. Except
Okay.
Sveta.
so. You. Why is Sveta such a bad guy?
Look,
she's not a bad.
what's
She's not a
an
bad
extra
person.
gun?
Yes,
Listen, if she wants to come on our undercover mission to go see if there's anybody hanging out over here, I'm fine with that.
Okay, so
She has,
I just don't want
all right, so
I would like to eat another piece of licorice.
she has a voice with the
I'm sure you would.
higher up.
So my breath doesn't smell like alcohol anymore.
okay.
Or so it smells like
Uzo?
Yeah, Uzo. You've either been eating licorice or
Sambuca.
Okay, so I think you guys have permission to be here. It's not a big deal. Coming back, hang on. So Barsakova would have written you some kind of orders to come or whatever. So you guys are fine. You come back to the base. It's no big deal. There's some kind of guard that checkpoint that you go through. No big deal. You guys arrive back at the tent, and I think we'll pick up back at the tent. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, because I feel like there might be some uncertainty for you guys leaving easily. You guys will arrive back at the base at Pavshevskaya. You'll make it through the guards at the gate and that kind of thing, and back at your tent. And I think you're changing clothes to get out of your civilian clothes and back into your military uniforms, right?
But I'm not washing off my makeup.
Okay, very good.
Never. Don't do it.
The four of you and Oksana have come back. Now, there are 2 open bunks in your guys' tent because of the fatalities from the last mission. Okay, I'm sorry, you're right. So then Valentina's. There is 1 empty bunk in
Right
your
next
guys'
to Senior Lieutenant Sveta.
Right, correct.
Because nobody wants to.
So I have this vision that I think when you guys come back, Sveta is sitting there and she knows you guys left, right? And you guys have been gone for a while. She probably wants to figure out where the deuce are you people, right? And eventually she would have found out from Barsakova that she approved your orders to go to town. So I think that there is this moment when you guys come back where she is in the tent.
Also, on the way back, I would have relayed to you that the mechanics, I'm pretty sure that Timothy he's pretty legit, but there was a young guy. I didn't get his name, but he had a bad limp and he looked really weird. He was pretty young and he looked just off. And he had some tools that just didn't seem right. They seemed kind of out of place, and he got real upset when I was looking at his stuff, and I think he was going to, confront me about it, but then they walked up and he turned and left, so.
I've got some information to give the captain as well. There's a young girl. Her brother is potentially up to something, so...
Do you think maybe her brother is the same guy that works at the mechanics?
Certainly could be. I didn't see him while I was there, but I know where the residence is.
Well, the one that I saw, he's got a bad limp on one of his legs. Looks like his knee and his foot maybe don't work right.
She did mention something about him having maybe some kind of physical reason why he couldn't serve in the military.
So maybe it could be the same person then.
Definitely could be. Did you guys get anything?
At the bakery this time, the first time I was there was one man, the baker, and he was pleasant and it was calm in there. This time, it was just a woman and 2 small children, and she seemed like she was not used to doing all of the work. She was very harried and stressed out, and the children actually took our money and filled our order. I don't know where the man went. I saw no sign of the woman and the children last time I was there, so in 2 visits I couldn't say it was unusual, but it was definitely different this time. And she didn't seem used to holding down the entire work of the shop, it seemed.
I'm going to give a report to Captain Barsakova when we get back to...
Immediately or after we check out the field?
whatever works out best for us getting back out into the field.
All right, so that's where my sort of the crux of my question would be, is that you guys will pass through the gate okay without any issue. Are you going to you Yulia go and deliver a report to Barsakova right away, or are you going to go back to the tent to change clothes and then leave again?
I'm going to go back to the tent and change clothes and leave again.
Yes.
Okay. So you will arrive back at the tent, and I think you will see Lieutenant Sveta sitting on the edge of her cot, cross-legged with one of her, almost like when you know how you have a cat sitting in the window and their tail is whipping back and forth with that sort of look of, I'm just waiting for something to happen. You see her sitting on her bunk with her leg bouncing that way, and she has actually opened the book that has the Soviet regulations for things that she's reading, actually.
I'm going to ignore that energy and walk to my bunk.
I'm going to make a point to be the last one in.
Okay.
So that they can kind of all go first and start to do whatever they need to do to get ready, so to speak.
Yeah.
Very good.
And if she doesn't stop me, I'm going to walk straight to my bunk and start getting ready.
No, she doesn't. She watches you guys walk past.
Get undressed.
As you guys walk in and change out of your clothes. And yeah, she just sits there and sort of watches you guys more or less, right?
Okay. I'll get maybe my flight suit. I don't know, whatever I think would be the best for some kind of reconnaissance mission.
Either one would be suitable, but
Did they ever get us the nice clean uniform?
They have not arrived yet, no. They have been requisitioned from the Soviet Army. But the check's in the mail, so we'll see how that goes.
So boots and everything and all. I don't know if I have to go to the plane to get the pistol or if I have one in my thing, but I will get my pistol out as well and take that with me.
You guys probably had some kind of an armory or something, some small thing where they're placed. Maybe in the hangar or something along those lines. There's some kind of a makeshift armory I think they would have or whatever. Okay. Yeah, she just sits there and you guys quietly just watches you guys as you guys uncomfortably sort of in this moment like waiting for that moment, right? And she just sort of, watches the five of you, change out of your clothes to get ready for whatever. Nina will be in there as well, as it's the evening time, so her time in the shop is basically done, and most of the night witches aren't flying tonight because of the prior, this day's missions or whatever. So her work is done, so she's sort of sitting on her bunk, flipping through whatever, sort of.
I can ask her if she wants to accompany us. We're gonna go check something out. If you'd like to come with us.
She's like, what are you guys gonna go check out?
Well, we could tell you, and you would come with us and take part. Or I could not tell you, and you can pretend to know nothing later.
So this is the first time you have ever offered offered Nina the chance to come along on one of your.
Nina's not exactly she's one of us, but she's not.
Exactly. That's exactly it. So she looks extremely nervous, and then she's like, "I think I'd like to come with you."
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, she finishes with a trailing off maybe,
Wear your boots and bring a pistol, girl. Let's go.
She's like, okay. She throws her feet off turns on her cot, puts her feet on the floor and starts to put on her boots and tie her boots on. So you guys are all getting changed or whatever, and I think Oksana's coming with you guys, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of a given.
Sure
If she wants to, then yeah.
Is Masha the only one left in there?
So as you guys are beginning to have this conversation, you can tell there's this moment hanging in the air where Sveta is about to kind of inject herself into the situation. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that moment where you're like, the silence has lingered on long enough, and you can either choose to...
I'm going to approach her.
Okay. So she just looks at you and waits for you to...
We have some intelligence that may pan out to be nothing or may pan out to be something, and we're going to go check it out. Do you want to come with us?
So she sort of sits there quietly for a minute, and she's like, what's the nature of this intelligence?
Found a suspicious area that would be opportune to catch our base off guard. There were some boot prints there. No one there when we saw it initially on the way into town, but it's a ripe area for ambush or just sneaking around. We're not sure what's going on, but we wanted to go back under cover of darkness and check it out. I definitely didn't want to tell any of the men's camp about it, as I don't feel it necessary for them to steal our glory. You're one in a position of power. I'm sure you have your eye on an advancement, as do the rest of us. So if you'd like to come along, if it turns out to be nothing, then it's nothing. If it turns out to be something, I'd be happy to put your name on it alongside ours.
All right, so I think this is an act up, and I was going to say that this is going to be a hooligan move, but on the sheet it says to act like a natural-born Soviet-era woman, and I think appealing to Sveta's sort of pride and her desire to rise up the ranks and whatever, I think that it makes sense to use that. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a 9.
All right, so choose one.
I'm going to choose make someone do what we want. I think she's going to come with us, for better or worse.
All right. So
This together.
she looks at you and she lets you speak
I'm
your
calling
piece.
her out. Like, if you got the stone, step up.
Right. So she stands up and begins to walk down the aisle of the tent.
I want to add, though, like, she stands up and I'll be like, I know that you're Politotruck. This is a military thing. And I am a senior lieutenant. Like, I've got battle training.
Right.
And you don't.
Okay.
You have been behind enemy lines.
I called the shots. Basically,
she
is what I'm saying.
continues walking down the aisle, and you hear her wooden heels thump on the floor. Mm-hmm. And she comes walking down and says, for her remarkable actions, on March 31st, 1943, a mission was flown during daylight hours, resupplying Soviet infantry behind enemy lines. This mission was flown successfully with great amounts of risk and possibility of injury and death. As she comes to a stop in front of you, Vera, she says, Vera Gramova, you've been awarded the Order of Glory. As you know, this medal is awarded to privates and sergeants and lieutenants of the Red Army, and to aviation lieutenants who display glorious feats of bravery, courage, and fearlessness in the battle for the Soviet motherland. Congratulations on this honor, Tavarish. So she'll present you with your medal, and she will pin it to your chest. She will turn, salute you, and she will walk away and tell you guys, and sort of like gets to the end of the tent, turns, sits down, and you see her open her trunk, and she reaches in and she grabs some sort of pistol, makes sure it's loaded, racks and slides it, puts it in her holster, and says, "Suit up, Sukas, you've got work to do apparently."
Congratulations, your mission.
Thanks.
So I'll turn around, dress everybody in the tent. Is anybody staying here? Is what I'm going to say.
So
I will not hold it against you. This is not something that is strictly required of your rank and station. If you would prefer to stay here, I understand.
So Valentina, Sergeant Valentina, looks like as nervous as you can look. She is quite literally shaking in her boots and looks unsure.
So I'm going to do like a slow step down the aisle.
What about
Stop.
Masha?
Turn and look at her. Just look at her seriously, like, we'll put a little pressure on. Like, is she going to crack or is she coming with us?
She looks like she might crack, you think.
I adore Valentina, so at this point I'm going to tell her we need someone to make sure we have a place to come back to when we get back. Would you mind keeping the bunks ready for us?
Giving her an out.
I'm totally giving her an out. I adore her. She, before I was like
A little bit
jaded.
hard-ass. Right, yeah. So
No.
you say this and give her the out, and Sveta stands up, and you just, like, she sort of steps over, because Valentina's cot is right across the aisleway from hers, and Sveta puts her hand on her shoulder and says, "You're coming with us." Like, looking down at Valentina. Masha looks like she's ready to go. She's,
So how many of us are there?
relatively, there are 9 of you.
9 of us? Okay, I'm going to split us up into groups of 3.
Okay.
And I'm going to put, so I'll put...
Can we change our regard without actually having a roll?
No, but it is a way for you to try and create a situation to where, do you know what I'm saying? To where you would...
Okay.
I have a question.
yeah.
Can we go get some landmines? Let's put some landmines in this valley.
So, Galia...
It's landmines that keep farmers from being able to return to their fields after a war when people don't remember where they put them.
So, Galia, I'm going to give her Masha and Vera.
What about barbed wire?
And I'm going to give Sergeant Valentina and Junior Lieutenant Oksana to Dasha. No, wait, I want to split you guys up. I'm going to give Valentina and Vera to Dasha. And I'm going to take Oksana and Sveta. And so, like, I want to come at this area, you know, like, flank it, and then one from the front. I'm going to take the one from the front because that's most dangerous.
So, Galia, Masha, and who? Because initially you had that as
Galia, Masha, Vera.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait. I think I put Vera in 2 groups.
Yes, you did.
Sorry.
I was keeping track.
I'm missing somebody.
You got Oksana?
Masha, Valentina, Nina.
Nina. Okay, that's who I'm missing.
Fine with this. So Galia, Masha, Nina?
Yeah, Galia, Masha, Nina. Vera, Valentina, and Dasha. And Gala, Sveta, and me. That's everybody, right?
Yes, okay. So our 3 squads are Galia, Masha, and Nina, and Galia is the highest ranking there.
Yes.
And then we have Dasha, Valentina, and Vera, and Dasha is the highest ranking there?
Yes.
Then you have Yulia, Oksana, and Sveta, and Yulia is the highest ranking there.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
You're leading Masha and Nina on the left flank. Dasha, you're leading Vera and Valentina on the right flank. Me and Sveta and Oksana. Me, Sveta, and Oksana will come straight on.
We all are armed.
We're all armed.
So yeah, you guys each have...
Quiet. As quiet as you can. Try and sneak up. Gain intelligence if we can. Catch them by surprise if there's anything there.
Just to let you know, I forgot to mention this before, but the mechanic... The mechanic said that he knows that people have been sneaking out. They can't pinpoint exactly who it is, but they leave town and come back. They don't leave and bring stuff back, and they don't take stuff, but they might be meeting outside of town. The only place that would make sense is the airfield. So
Our goal is to find and obtain whatever is there. If we can, if anybody's there to capture without killing them, that would be most ideal. We want information. Everybody clear?
yes.
All right. Very good. So you ladies suit up, change into your uniforms, gather your pistols and that kind of stuff, arm up, and are essentially ready to go. You guys step out into the open air, and the cool air from the night sort of hits you as you guys step out of your tent. You guys walk to the edge of the airfield, through the gate, and out onto the road, essentially, right? Mm-hmm. And you guys are going to make your way down to this presumed rendezvous point, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So the road isn't dangerous, and neither are the woods, right? So I think it's fair to say that you guys can make it there without any kind of problem, right? So you guys will, he said, Yulia, you and your squad are going to go down the center of this thing, the center of the valley, and then who is on the left and who is on the right?
We're on the left.
So Gallia is on the left and Dasha is on the right. Very good. Okay, so for the purposes of this, we are going to say that the road is on the right side of you guys, right? Mm-hmm. So you, Dasha, you and your squad will be on the road side, and then Gallia, you and your squad will be on the sort of like not the wilderness side, we'll call it, right? So it's further away from town, further away from the road, a little more rugged, but not by a huge margin or anything. You guys get down there. The night is dark. It's cool. We'll say there's like a gibbous moon or something. It's not full, not a new moon. So there's a little bit of light, not a ton. And you're in the dark woods, around the Eastern Europe and Mediterranean area. So you're not formally trained as infantry, but you guys have done some kind of training about crashing and escaping and stuff. So I think maybe there's a couple uneasy moments where Yulia and Gallia, you have some memories of
Being stuck in the forest.
Yeah, and trying to evade German patrols and that kind of stuff. But you steel your nerves, and you're down there, and you're here to do a job and do your duty, and hopefully advance your careers and the war effort here. So you're there, you know where this little rendezvous point is, and you get there, and there's no movement and no people there yet. So what is it that you guys do?
Set up a good hidden positions. So I'll tell Nina and Masha that we need to be as quiet as possible. We'll clear out some spots so that there's not going to be any like twigs or anything that we're going to be stepping on.
Okay.
For where we can sit and basically scope out and wait.
Okay. Does that work for the rest of you guys? Yep. Okay. So do you have any specific orders about like attacking or prisoners or anything like that you're going to want to work out before?
Try and take hostages
Okay.
rather than kill people. That's the plan, because we want information more than we want to kill whoever's down here or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, very good.
Is there any good... So I know from our side it's a good place to sneak up on, but from the village, is there is it easy to see down into this area from that side of things? Like if there was someone watching from afar, would they be able to see our movements from that side of things?
Well, you guys are moving without any kind of light sources, I'm assuming, and trying, you're not walking to the road and then making a left-hand turn into the forest, I assume, right? So you're approaching this kind of in a stealthy fashion. So if you guys are walking up the valley without any light sources on, no one's going to be able to see you. Does that make sense? I'm assuming that's what your kind of guys are going for. Okay.
If there's nobody in here, though, I want to be on, more on the village side of this hole than the camp side.
Okay, so let me kind of...
Like, we could see somebody approaching here, too.
Okay, so hang on. Let's just do this. So this is the valley. Okay. Here is the road. Okay. So we will say this is the rendezvous point, this X. Okay. So Dasha and her team, I'm going to make Dasha a D. Right? And Gallia is a G. She's over here. So you want to be on... This is the airfield, right? And this is the village, Pashovskaya here. So do you want to be on the Pashovskaya side here, or do you want to be on the airfield side?
I want to be on the Pashovskaya side.
Very good. So we're set up like this, roughly speaking, then?
Yes.
Okay.
So I wrote you as a P, although you are a J. Or a Y.
Yes.
Okay.
You're a YJ. I just made that a thing. Might be the funkiest letter ever to exist. So you guys have your position set up, and I'm willing to concede the fact that you guys have some time to prepare down here, and you're able to find the best of hiding spots down here as the sun is going down and whatnot.
The best vantage points.
Yes, exactly. So you have, we'll just to set the scene, we have this sort of rendezvous point as a center point, right? So, Dasha, you and your squad are to the road side of this, and then Gallia, you and your squad are to the wilderness side, and then Yulia, you are between the town and the rendezvous spot, right? With the airfield at your back, basically.
Yes.
So where the road rises up, is there a place for us to get into like a little...
Well, you guys are actually down in the forest, like in this actual valley. So while you guys are on the roadside, you're still in the actual forest. Maybe the road is within eyesight of you guys, but you're not like on the road or in any danger of being spotted by someone on the road.
Okay, good.
Okay? So I think this probably calls for an eyeball, I'm thinking, as we set the stage here. Does that make sense? Because you guys are sort of like laying in wait and waiting for something to happen. So I think, does that
So do you
seem...
want to make like each of the leaders of each party roll to see like who sees something and who doesn't, or is it just one roll? How are we doing it?
Because it's dark, so we should be seeing people approaching soon.
Right, yeah.
If we're like on the right.
I think we'll do each squad leader makes a roll, and I think that makes sense. So, Dasha, Yulia, and Gallia, go ahead and roll an eyeball. So you can roll plus skill.
I have 8.
Oh my god.
That's a 15.
I got no 14.
Damn.
Wow.
15.
Private life. I watch you.
All right, so...
Saw you when you woke up this morning. I know what you ate for breakfast.
I know what you're thinking.
I can tell right now that you have a small pebble in your left boot.
Yeah.
All right, so, Yulia, you got a...
8.
8?
8.
Yeah, you got an 8, and then, 15. Okay. Okay, so I think we'll do, Yulia and Gallia first. So you guys get to hold 1. Should I get the mashed list of questions first? It's a much better eyeball
What do you think?
I think I'm going to grab that real quick. Being that we are sort of moving a little bit out of the Night Witches territory and more into the mashed territory here, we're going to use their eyeball questions. Now, this isn't an entirely complete list of questions, but it's a better list than what you guys have seen before. All right, so you guys are positioned and ready to go. So go ahead and you made your eyeball. You made your eyeballs. She run.
Oh, that was a 15.
It was a 15.
Yeah.
It was a
She can get
15.
whatever she wants.
It's way more than a 10. So you can just tell us what's happening. So I have here, since we're moving out of the territory of like what your guys' eyeball is really kind of designed for, you guys can use whatever questions you want. But if you look under the Rita Sitch in that book, and this one is eyeball, and this one as well. And we'll do Yulia and Gallia first, and then Dasha, since yours is way better, we'll do yours second.
I'm going to go ahead and pick what's my enemy's true position.
It's kind of a weird way to answer this, but their goal is to get to that rendezvous point, right? But you know that there are going to be people coming from the town side coming down the valley towards you. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. For one, I think that's do you feel like it's a fair answer for the one that there's 2 people coming from the town side that their true position. You'll know where the ones relative to you because you're on the town side of everything like that. People coming from the town. There are 2 people, and that's their position is coming right down the middle of the valley towards you.
Okay.
Do you have a question?
I like the who's in charge here. So basically, as I'm like looking, if we see somebody coming from like the actual airbase and then someone coming from the town, I'm trying to kind of figure out if it looks like the person from the airbase is the one giving directions, if it is somebody from the airbase, or if the person from town is like. So I'm trying to see where the majority of
So who's in charge here, right?
directions lie.
So I think the person who's in charge will be not the people in the town. It will actually be the person coming from your airfield side. Does that make sense?
Okay.
And if it helps for anybody's decision making, like we're gonna let the people from the town pass by and not intervene.
Okay.
Because I want to see where it plays out. So it's going to be obvious to them, like we're bunkered down. They know we're there. Like it's very clear that we let them by without intervening.
So do you want like?
Well, we're gonna let them know we're here.
No, I'm going to let them pass by and go to their rendezvous point without stopping them.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, my assumption was that you were within eye shot of their rendezvous point.
Right. I'm saying, like, the other two groups will know
Okay. Oh.
where we're positioned,
Okay.
so they'll know that we let them continue
Right.
on without stopping
Okay.
them.
Okay, I understand now.
So that basically we would have talked it out. We know that we're waiting to see who all is going to be there
Yeah.
before we actually do anything.
Move to do anything. Okay. All right, so Dasha?
I chose, is this situation what it seems? So basically, once these people assemble, let's look and see and maybe listen if we're able to hear. Are these the spies that have infiltrated the town, or are these the townspeople
Okay, so-
who know that there are spies and are meeting to...
No, I think it is what you guys. It is what you guys think it is. It is a group of people that are conspiring against the Russian military and the Russian government here.
Okay.
Right.
And so, in the same vein as is the situation what it seems, let's find out to what depth they are spying. Like,
Okay.
what do they know? What are they targeting? Things like that. Like, is it what it
Okay.
seems? Do we think that they're absolutely in there to do the possible worst?
Okay.
Or
So
we want to let the conversation play out.
right.
A little bit to see exactly what we're dealing with, and also keep, find out information and keep our hand close so that we can play it against them
Right.
more effectively.
Like, is it just
Not
two
just jump
people?
out of the bushes all like...
My plan is to wait until the whole thing is done and apprehend the people on the way back to the town. Because I think once their group
You want to
splits,
apprehend the townsfolk people or the
on
airbase
the way,
people?
the townsfolk people on the way back to the town.
Right. So you let these people pass by and this meeting happen, and because sort of like, asking what this meeting is about, and that being your eyeball question, they get together around in this little sort of rendezvous area, right? And there'll be 3 people, 2 that come from the town and 1 that comes from the airfield. And
I was really just not expecting that.
and
Trust no one.
it's kind of dark out here. It's in the forest. It's hard to see a little bit, right? So you can't really, you can make out body shape and type maybe, but not, this is Johnny and this is Dave and this is Bobby, those kind of things. So you will see that there are 2 people from the city, and you do notice that one of them walks with a very significant limp, okay? And you'll be able to identify that it is the same body shape and type as
The mechanic.
the guy, the mechanic,
He
right?
totally threatened to kill his sister. We have leverage.
And, well, that escalated quickly. And so the other one is an older, male-statured, broader, not like really crazy broad, but, broader-shouldered person. And then coming from the other side is another male person. Not super big, but like an average size kind of, male body type that comes walking up. And there's some hushed talking, right? So you can't say, because you're at a distance to where you want to remain hidden, right? You can't make out every word, okay? But the basic gist of what is being discussed back and forth is the times and locations of air raids and attacks, both including your guys's and mail operations. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So your guys's bombing runs, times and locations. The male airmen's bombing times and locations, and then the male fighters. They're if they're going to be trying to attack things as well. And that is the information that is delivered. So the meeting is brief. You very definitely get the feeling that this meeting has happened before. Like, these people are acquainted, not that they're bosom buddies or anything, but they're acquainted with one another, and they're used to taking this information down and sort of cataloging it to pass it on. Now, you will know that the information is coming mostly from the man that came from the airfield. He is giving the information to the people that are in the town to carry outside. Does that make sense?
Now, I know that it's hard because they're talking in whispers and things like that. Is there any way to pick up, like, maybe this voice? Does it sound familiar? I know we haven't had a lot of experience with a lot of the men, but is it any familiar sounding voice at all? To any of us, since all 3 of us are, all 3 of the...
So I'm going to say no, based on the fact that you guys have, to keep away from doing a ton of different eyeball rolls, right? I'm going to say for this moment, no. Like, you've sort of gathered the information that you can from this this part of the scene right here. Does that make sense? Unless you want to like try and get closer and risk giving away your position, then you can see to try and get more information. But as it stands right now, unless you change something in the scene, no, you can't tell.
Okay.
So unless you guys are going to spring into action and try and do something, the meeting will come to a conclusion.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Nina, like very, very, very quietly, I'm going to tell Nina to take over. Her and Masha will rendezvous with them just like we had originally planned. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and go up a ways and hide closer to where I can get a better vantage point of the person coming back.
Oh, okay.
So I can see who it is.
Right. Okay, very good. Okay. So, okay, we'll come back to that. Okay. So the rest of you guys.
I would like to either, like, if we can see the people coming back from the village enough to identify who they are, awesome. If not, then I would like to follow them to see, like, what homes they go into. Basically, I want to find out who they are, but I don't want to capture them. We know, if we can catch the person that's going back to our base, then maybe we would already know what information they got, so we can try and use that against them, or potentially in the future try to feed them false information.
Okay.
So I don't want to reveal that we know who they are.
So my question is, are you going to try and communicate this to Sveta as a change of plan that you want to follow them back to their homes in town?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah, she's in my little group.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I know, she's right there. Yeah. So
I'll be like, we can use these people.
So she's very political minded and spy minded. That's like sort of her expertise, right? She didn't tell you how to fly the plane, and she understands sort of where you're going with this. And you can tell that she is. It very clearly becomes clear in this moment right here that she is a true believer, right? When you tell her that, like, the bloodlust that is in her, that she wants to, like, string these people up by their toes and do that kind of stuff, make them suffer and punish them for all the hell and torture and death they have caused the Russian people, her blood is up, right? Mm-hmm. And when you kind of lay out this little bit to her,
like, we can feed them false information to kill the Germans,
right? So in that moment, her bloodlust backs down just about a half of an inch, and she kind of comes back to the fact that this is her world. This is what she does. Mm-hmm. She understands the point you're making. She thinks it's very valid and smart, and it could lead to finding out a bigger network because these are probably small fish, right? Mm-hmm. But you can very clearly tell in this moment, it like sort of reveals something of her. It reveals something of her personality, that she is like a true believer and is all in. Like, I want to bathe in blood. One of those kind of moments,
Respect.
And so she's like, fair enough, whatever. If we need to move, whatever, however you want to do this.
So do we need to reposition?
I think it's fair to say that you guys don't. If they pass through, they're probably going to go back the same way because it was safe, and habits and whatnot. So okay. I'm willing to concede the fact that unless you guys want to try and capture them or something or do something else, that you can probably follow them back.
I want to stay completely out of sight. I want them to not even know we were ever there.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So Dasha, you and your squad, are you going to, what do you guys want to do? So like the initial orders were to...
reconnaissance, basically.
Follow and see what was up.
So we can head back. We can walk on our side of the road and eventually join up back with Galia's group and go back to the base and report what we found. Or we can go into town, follow her into town and watch where there are two people. We can go in two groups and one group can follow one person into town and one group can follow the other.
What about
where we go.
What about the Soviet?
Galia's going to follow the person back to our airfield.
But you wouldn't know that, though, because you're not that close to me.
Yeah, you're not with her group technically, so it seems feasible that, like...
Because I just told Nina.
I can capture him. I could kill him. You can go with Valentina, follow the other guy.
I think we need to wait.
And if he captures me, I can pretend I got drunk in town. You can still smell the beer on my breath.
I think we need to wait.
I'm still loaded. I probably shouldn't have this pistol.
Vera?
I'm gonna kill him.
Vera, I don't think we need to do that just yet.
Allowing a traitor to live would be worse than killing one.
I think allowing a traitor to further implicate himself would be more... There'd be more information to be...
Should I go find out who he is while you guys follow the other guy?
Let's let them start up on the road, and we'll go over to where Yulia is and see what Yulia wants us to do. Let's let them get far enough away that they can't hear us when we move. And we'll see what Yulia wants.
You're in charge of the squadron, not her.
Let's see what she wants us to do. I don't think we need to run up onto the road and try to capture a full-grown man, even though there are 3 of us. I think if we wait, they'll do more things that will further implicate them.
And further put us in danger when we're in the air.
One day is not going to make a difference. They've been doing this for presumably
And we
months.
have been losing people every time we get in the air.
All right, so
We're not in the air. So...
I think. Hang on, as Vera's dander gets
Who else
gets
is
up.
Hold on.
Valentina's with her.
Yeah, so she's not going to do it.
Tina's like.
Listen, Vera.
I'm listening. You're in charge, but I disagree so bad.
I don't know. Valentina might find stones at this moment, but I doubt it. I guess I'll leave that.
Okay.
Valentina puts her hands over their mouth.
I'm gonna do my
So
best.
actually, no. I think you're like your anger gets up just like it did, right? And you start to speak up, not like crazy loud, but a little bit too loud. And Valentina, with eyes as big as like softballs, smacks you across the face, and is like, "Shut up!" And she is like trembling, and like not. She doesn't smack you out of like anger. She's just like more out of like, "Oh my god!"
Poor girl. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep my eyes on this guy that's leaving while still following Dasha's orders. The guy that belongs to our army. Army.
Let
Okay.
him get a little ways away, and we'll head over to where she wants us to follow him. We'll follow him. If she wants you to shoot him, you can shoot him.
Okay. So this moment passes, and Valentina seems to calm down a little bit, and then you feel her arm on your forearm, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I smacked you."
I'm gonna pat it. Can I see who this guy is?
You can not like you can see his face, and you can tell that he looks like sort of like a Russian soldier of some
Is there
kind.
a glint of any metal or rank or anything?
He doesn't appear to be wearing. So you know, this actually may be an identifying feature, is that you know, infantrymen don't have like medals and stuff and whatever on. It's like he's dressed in a uniform that is not decorated. So he's he has a. He's either in a like a flight suit or in an infantry uniform. Do you know what I'm saying? He's not. Does it make sense?
He's in a uniform that wouldn't give off anything.
Can I remember his gait?
Espionage.
Well, yeah, I think it's fair to say you can try and it would be now obviously to pick him out of a lineup that way would be kind of tough, but you could be like whatever. So the meeting will break up, and they will both go their separate ways. The 2 people from the town will pass past your group, Yulia. And we'll be heading back, and you can sort of trail them along the way, okay? The one person from the base is walking back. Mm-hmm. So Galia, Masha, and Nina follow your instructions, and they break off, and they follow they sort of creep in behind quietly and creep along the way and follow.
And I tell them not to make any movements until they see Yulia make any kind of movements.
So they will follow your instructions and head back, and at which point I'm assuming you move to follow the Soviet guy.
This is because if anything happens, I'm the one that gets hurt. I'm the one that goes down, and they're not going to go down.
Well, you tell them, and they just seem like, okay, yeah, they just follow orders, Masha seems a little bit like Nina's sort of out of her element, so she just follows whatever you tell her to do, right? She's willing to concede the fact that this is not the motor pool, not her world. Not the hangar. She does what you tell her to do. Masha is sort of like, not that she shouldn't follow him, but like going by herself may not be the best idea, but she follows, she's going to follow orders and whatever, and she does her thing. Dasha, you, Vera, and Valentina will follow in behind, and it's sort of like the 5 of you, right, are walking along, creeping through the forest, and they sort of come to the group of you, where Yulia, your group, is following those people back into town. So they will walk through the forest a ways, then they sort of make a hard turn, head towards the road, because it's much easier, obviously, walking down the road. They get up to the road, and they start to walk into town. Okay.
At that point, we have them identified, though. Like, I could pick them out of a lineup. I know what they look like.
Yeah, and if you wanted to, but did you, you could, if you want to follow them to town to where they actually, their homes, then you would have to continue to follow them.
Was one the baker and one the mechanic?
Do I recognize either?
No,
of them?
you don't. But Vera, you actually, amazingly enough, the two of you, Vera, you and Dasha, both saw the baker, and you saw the upset mechanic, and it is those two. Oh no, you didn't see the male baker, but Dasha did. Yeah.
He was missing
And
the second time
you
around
came
the
to
shop.
where I'm at?
No.
No.
So
nobody else
Galia
knows.
is missing,
Masha and Nina met up with you.
but they will tell you that Galia said she was going to follow the soldier.
Okay.
Which seemed relatively safe because she was heading back to the airfield. To our airfield. So
So we know who both these guys are from the town.
Yes.
Okay. So
We know where they live.
we need to apprehend the soldier. Let them go.
head back to
I have other
Gaia.
plans for them.
We need to figure out who they're giving the information to now, though. Because if they come back to the meeting and he's not there...
Sveta will sort of realize now we're crossing over out of the forest and into the town, which is more of where the politic and the politics part of things starts to take precedent, right? And she looks at you and she says that she is going to take Valentina and Vera, and we are going to go into town.
I will say no. No. You can take Dasha and Vera into town. The rest of everybody will come with me. I don't argue.
She says,
Valentina is not who you want.
I'm not looking to apprehend these people physically right now. I want two young girls to come into town with me.
Then I will go.
She sort of gives you that, tilts her head a little bit they're going to bring this young crippled boy to me. We will extract whatever confession he has to give from him. And she begins walking away. So I think if you want to press it further, it goes into an act up area.
Okay. I want to act up. I don't think it's a good idea to press this right now.
Okay.
You are throwing this away. This is a tool we could use. If you confront him now, it is for nothing.
So go ahead and roll plus medals. Oh, man. So hear me out now. I'm torn about this now. I know our double sickle rule, right? But part of the NKVD and that mindset is that we have you and we will extract whatever fucking confession we will get from you, right? Do you know what I mean? That's the Soviet NKVD way, right? Political commissar way. So I don't know how you want to reconcile that with...
That's what I'm I don't disagree with that necessarily, but I want her to extract the information from the person on our side. We can feed these two false information.
Okay, so your argument is...
they can be
hang on.
use.
So
you blow our cover now, that connection is lost.
Okay. Okay.
You're making a short-sighted decision.
She's saying, your job, she wants these two people, civilians, she wants to go take care of. And her argument is that you and the rest of your people should go find this infantryman and take care of he's already headed back to the airbase. He doesn't know you're coming.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. I don't want her to apprehend them and pump them for information. I want her to follow them and see where they go and find any leads. But if she blows that cover now, she's gonna flush that down the toilet. We could do so much more with this.
Okay.
So I don't feel comfortable letting Sveta take the two youngest and most beautiful soldiers
No, I
into
agree.
town to meet
Yeah,
up
that's
with
the other
some...
thing. I don't want her to take Valentina because she's got no stones. I don't think she's right for this operation.
Distract me. You go.
No.
She smacked you out of being terrified that you were going to...
Okay, so she sort of...
I don't
Only
trust
bad
her to
things
be
are going
alone
to
with my
happen to that.
operation, too.
Only bad
Okay.
things are going to happen to a girl like Valentina in this town.
Okay, so here's what she'll walk it back to, okay, to find this sort of compromise in the middle, is that she says she'll follow them into town. They've got 3 hours. Because all this information they have is definitely time sensitive because you guys fly missions at night and they fly in the morning. I will give them 3 hours to deliver whatever information they have. Otherwise, they know their cover is blown and they're not delivering information, and then we will take them.
Fair.
3 hours.
Fair.
Go get your man. And she grabs you two, not forcibly, but she's let's go.
I'm still not sending Valentina with her, though. She can take Dasha.
I need innocent women.
She cannot lie for you.
She doesn't need to lie.
Yes, she does. This is espionage. Look at her.
She looks like a scared mouse.
She can fly a plane. She's a deer in fucking headlights. Pick
She flew with
someone
me
else.
when I got a medal and she did fine.
No.
She's like, fine. She looks at Valentine. She says, you stay. Let's
Or
go
take
here.
Oksana or somebody, you know.
So she just starts walking off. She tells Valentine to
I'll
stay.
go on. I'll send Oksana with her.
So Oksana starts to walk, and Sveta stops, turns, and looks at her, and she says, you don't want to follow me right now. And Oksana is like caught in that moment of like, she looks back at you like, do I want to go against the police truck telling me?
I will totally pull rank on her. She's a lieutenant, and I'm a senior lieutenant. This is my mission. I told her that when we left. You are taking her with you. Those are my direct orders.
Okay. She smiles a small grin and says, keep in mind this is your unofficial mission. We can have that discussion later. And she turns and starts walking down the road.
Does she take Oksana with her?
She didn't say not to follow or anything, and Oksana will sort of follow behind, you know.
We'll go back and go apprehend this traitor. What?
Oksana could pass as my devil.
All right, so
And she's got a beautiful voice.
Gallia, you are creeping along through the forest, and
Take an extra special care to not step on any random branches.
right. So you're following along this person creeping through the forest.
But I just want to make a point that I was moving before they ended their conversation, so I would be ahead of him.
Okay. You're already ahead of him, right? So do you want to let him pass by? Like, how do you see this going?
If there is a good part, like where he's going to pass through, where there's ample enough light for me to really get a good look at his face to where I could 100% identify him, then I will wait in that area for him to pass through.
Okay, so
that I can.
I think it's reasonable to say that you can find some small clearing in the forest. All right, so you'll position yourself at the edge of this clearing, I guess, right?
Yeah.
In a way where he's going to walk past you through this clearing. Go ahead and roll me an eyeball. I think it seems like act up doesn't seem appropriate here, and I don't feel like you're tempting your fate yet. Do you know what I'm saying? Like this is, you know.
What you fought for me like you did for Valentina?
What are you talking about?
Letting her take me?
I trust you.
I know.
All right, I got a 7.
That means you get to ask hold one, right? I'm assuming your question is who is this guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he walks past, and he's being cautious and moving quietly, and he gets to about the middle of the clearing where the moonlight is clearly shining through, and you can see really, really who it is. And there's this moment of denial that sort of washes across you as you realize it's in fact Mikhail.
No! Are you I'm done. I quit role-playing forever. I swear to God, every freaking game in the last month, my love interest is either betrayed me or been killed or broken up with me. I'm done.
He didn't betray
He hasn't
you.
betrayed you yet.
He hasn't betrayed you.
He's betrayed everything.
You still love him!
Oh, right on. Okay.
Time's the passion!
Right here. Woo! What is it? Forbidden love? Well, no, that doesn't really fit, but I don't care. I'm going to shoot him. I can't believe this.
All right.
There's plenty in the mission pool. You take those.
No, I'm sorry. I meant to tell you this before we started. Because of what is happening in the scope of this, I'm okay with you using these for your mission pool, right? And I know it's not normal. You can't carry them over, but I'm okay with using these for this and then carrying over this pool to the actual next flight pool. Okay.
I cannot believe this. Oh,
you're incriminated based off your letter.
Oh my God, the letter.
It's anonymous, though.
yeah, it is because my letters didn't have our names.
They're gonna think it's you.
All right. So,
I had a feeling.
Oh,
Crap.
I got a feeling.
Ugh.
Mommy!
Because we couldn't hear what missions he gave for the women.
I'm
I
not
can't believe
sure.
you just kill him like that.
Well, no, but I can see it's totally like your reaction right there is like I am angry.
She's
Like this
I'm
is
gonna
crazy. You know.
Had
So
it been Ruslan, I'd have been like,
I declare. Should we have sex in the forest now?
One last tussle. No, he was with that family with me in Treadgornyaka. Like we spent. No, you're the people. You're betraying all of our people. Oh no, I'm
Okay, so
I kind of hope I just wound him because I want to see the light leave his eyes.
damn, somebody's channeling some Sveta right there. Want to see the light leave his eyes? Okay, so let me ask you this: Do you feel like this is tempting fate, or do you feel like this is an acting up moment as a Soviet airwoman?
Like
This
a
is totally
natural-born
acting up.
Soviet
Yes.
airwoman.
Okay, I agree.
Yes,
I agree.
She didn't even think. She's like, I'm gonna shoot.
All right, so I think
I'm so glad it's you that followed. Oh, I couldn't have killed her if it was your lover.
Oh no, I was really hoping somebody else is gonna follow, and I could be like, so it's Mikhail. Oh my God, do I tell her? Or like to have to live with a secret that you know it's your lover that is the betrayer, but you should they're gonna kill him if I tell. But yeah, you know, that's how it goes.
What a great story you accidentally just wrote.
Okay,
I'm never taking a lover in any game ever again. Never.
go ahead and roll plus medals as your anger and training kick in as you draw your pistol from your holster, and without batting an eye,
Yeah.
You know-
like it's not even a question. It's like literally as soon as I see his face and make the realization, the pistol's in my hand before my brain
Right on.
registers that it's him.
You picture our plane going down and the grandma bleeding on the ground as you pull your pistol.
No! Yes, because I had to see her. This is your fault. You took their grandmother indirectly.
all right, so what'd you get?
Thanks for listening. This has been an episode of Just One More Fix. Music has been provided by Kevin MacLeod. You can find him at incompetech.com. You can support us at patreon.com/JustOneMoreFix or follow us on Twitter at Just One More Fix.